Ooh. Tally bally ho! Oh, that is pointy. Hello YouTube, and welcome to the Triumph T100. This is the new one, which has the 900cc high torque engine, same as the Street Twin. I think they're tuned slightly differently for this, but overall it is pretty much same as the Street Twin. So here it is, look at it. It is quite a pretty looking bike. Nice looking classic, and this is more classic than modern. I mean, you take things like the mudguard brace thing there, whatever you call that, and yeah, all the brushed effect engine casing and all sorts of stuff like that, and the colour. I do quite like this colour. I don't think the colour's not very me, to be honest, but it is a nice colour combination. Red and it's like a pale cream colour. I can't remember what the official name for it is, but I'll put it on screen now. But yeah, very nice bike, very nicely finished. All sorts of good little touches. And of course, the brush effect sprocket casing and engine casing there all looks pretty damn good, if you ask me. And of course, as with the Street Twin, there is hundreds of different customization options, so you can change things like this thing here, the oil filler cap, the fins on the headers there, all sorts of stuff. It's all very customizable. As with a lot of the classics, you get the knee pads and this little tank protector there, not bad. Fuel filler cap is one of the locking ones. With this, unlike on my Scrambler, you have the same key for the ignition and for the fuel filler cap, and for the it's around this side, for the seat, for getting the seat off as well. So yeah, it is a lot easier on these models to get the seat off. On the Scrambler, there's a couple of Allen nuts at the back there that you have to undo, so you need the Allen key, which is located conveniently on the bike, but it's yeah, just a bit of a faff compared to just turning a key. So yes, all very nicely detailed. This one's got a power bronze screen on it that they've just put on, which is quite a nice look to it, I would say. Usual stuff again with these new Bonnevilles. You get the brilliant Triumph triangle logo within the headlight there. That is, I want that on my Scrambler. It's one of the things I love about these newer Bonnevilles. This one, of course, is liquid cooled 900cc parallel twin. I will put all the technical specifications up on the screen, such as torque and power and all that jazz. At the back end here, you've got the LED tail light, like on the Street Twin and the others, but bulb indicators still. Again, that's something else that can be changed. Onto the gauges, it is pretty much just like the Thruxton T120. You've got the beveled inwards part where the numbers go. This nice brushed aluminium sort of effect there. Very nice. And yeah, very functional display. On the controls, you've got yeah, the indicators. Captain Rambug just says this thing is quite pointy, and yeah, it is pretty pointy. I can see what he's on about there. Everything's all done on the info center button here for this side of things. So you've got the clock, traction control. Get the annoying tag out of the way. It's quite windy today. Mind, I am on top of a hill. So yeah, traction control on, and then when you want to turn that off, you hold the info button in there, and it turns off. But I think today, because the roads are quite greasy, we haven't had any rain for a while, we'll leave that on. And of course, they've salted the roads and everything, so everything's all mucky and horrible. Odometer, so this thing's, yeah, only done 204 miles. It's not even running yet. Yeah, 2 trip gauges. Real-time miles per gallon and average miles per gallon. Currently doing 58.3, sounds about right. And back to the clocks. So there we go. Then over on this side, you've got the fuel gauge. That's telling me there's 54 miles left in the tank. And now I'm not sure if that underneath is... Yeah, that is the fuel gauge underneath, actually. Yeah, so we've got 3 bars. That's all right. The headlamp is always on, and you use this to switch between full beam and main beam. There's no flash, so if you want to flash, you have to double tap, rule whatever that is. Over this side, there's not much, just the hazard lights, which are on a little slider switch there. Again, it's a bit pointy, but you're not really going to be using the hazard lights, really. And a starter and kill switch integration combo thingy like you get on the T120 and Street Twin. It's all in that switch there. So there we go. Let's stop talking and ride it. Of course, I forgot to do the obligatory noise test. Actually, first, let's do the horn test. Not bad for stock. And as for the exhaust sound, as you can hear, it's got a nice sort of deep, throaty purr to it. Yeah, it doesn't sound too bad, really, for a stock pipe. Ah, right, now, yes. The bike is upright, and I have tiptoes down on either side. Now then, since starting doing reviews, I realise I probably should state how tall I am, because I do get a lot of comments on various videos saying, how tall are you? Will this bike suit me? I am approximately 5'3". Of course, your inside leg also can be different, so if you know your inside leg measurement, there's a website you can go to, and it's got all the bikes in there, and it'll give you like a diagram of based on you sitting on the bike, and you can see how well or not you can reach the floor. So yeah, with the bike up central, tiptoes either side, so I can't flat foot it, but if I tilt to the side slightly and shift my arse to the left, I can get a flat foot down, no problem. The weight of this is actually pretty lightweight. I remember the T120 feeling quite heavy and lumpy, whereas this does feel quite lightweight and easy enough to manoeuvre about, like so. Quite easy. I do remember backing up the T120, it did feel quite heavy. Now bear in mind this is over sort of gravel and stuff, so it's not exactly smooth and easy, but that doesn't seem too much trouble to me. But yes, if you are a short-legged rider and you were looking at either T120 or Street Twin, I would say the Street Twin is probably better for you because it is lower down. The seat height on that is lower than this. But if you can cope with a bit of a stretch, and yeah, if you're a little bit more comfortable with being a bit higher off the ground, then you should be alright, really. Okay, let's ride. Now this has a torque assist clutch, so without throttle, and you're taking your hand off the clutch, you can hear the engine start to build up some revs, so you should be able to pull off without needing any throttle, in theory. Like so. I would still prefer to put a bit of throttle on anyway, just so you've got more control. Worst thing you can do is pull off and stall the engine and drop it. And with this being a demonstrator, if that happens, that's £1,000 out of my pocket. Now this is the sort of bike aimed at a bit of urban commuting, but also coming out and enjoying the countryside roads like this. It's certainly not something that's built for speed. On that note, it does pick up nicely. And it can also slow down just as well. Single front brake disc on this, unlike the T120 which has twin front discs, but this, because it's so much lighter, the single front disc is fine, and it does perform quite well. The braking does, in fact, let's insert the braking clip. Okay, right, nothing behind me. After this car, we'll give the brakes a bit of a test. So, if we suddenly need to stop, it's got ABS, and, well, that stopped pretty briskly, and the ABS didn't kick in. So it is well controlled, well controllable. Oh, yeah. Now, the brake, they don't feel sharp or anything. The front does feel kind of soft, but it's still effective. And the back brake, in fact, yeah, the back brake is a bit, unlike other Triumphs I've ridden, especially my Scrambler, the back brake on my Scrambler is really sharp. On this, it is quite soft and spongy. But yeah, with the front brake and stuff, it does seem to perform perfectly adequately enough. And yeah, the ABS didn't kick in at all there, so I think you'd really yeah, you'd really have to be slamming the anchors on to get the ABS to kick in. So there we go, yeah, brakes are plenty good enough, and yeah, the ABS, well, it's not come on for me, so I don't know, and you know what, I've never experienced ABS on a bike, so, and hopefully I won't need to either. And it does, it holds the road quite nicely around the corners. It does inspire a little bit of confidence, even on the stock tyres. So I think the idea of this bike, well, one of the main sort of sales pitches, if you like, is it is aimed at A2 riders. Because with a small bit of restriction, you can ride this, just like the Street Twin and the Street Cup, you can ride them on an A2 licence. But yeah, coming up this hill, it's got a nice amount of pull, and it's not aggressive, sharp or anything like that. It is a good, steady, confident pull on the engine. Yeah, it's just nice and smooth. So yeah, plenty of torque to get you out of a situation. Pheasant! Now the seating position is nice and comfortable. It's your sort of normal upright, typical Bonneville seating position, really. Yeah, it's very comfortable. The seat itself is also very comfortable. It's like, you know, it's a bit firm, but not uncomfortably firm. You know, it's not giving me a dead arse. Now we're on national speed limit dual carriageway. I'm not getting blown about mine. That little fly screen there is going to help quite a bit with that. But yeah, it does feel firmly in place on the road, even with the wind. Ride-by-wire throttle, of course, so when you're doing things like manoeuvring around roundabouts and small bends and stuff at low speed, and you're feathering the throttle just to correct your speed here and there, there's no jerkiness to it. It's all nice and smooth. This clutch is so light as well. It is the torque assist clutch, as I mentioned earlier, but yeah, it is effortless. Now, MPG-wise, it's still very efficient. It just sips at the fuel. Right now, I'm doing 3,000 revs in second gear, and it's 75 MPG thereabouts. I'll read off more of them when we get them. Now, I've done at least 12 miles, and the petrol range is still saying 55 miles. So either it's stuck, or I'm just riding really efficiently. Yeah, this is definitely good for the urban environment, where you're going to be sort of doing a lot of gear shifting. The clutch is so light, and effortless. It's just going to be nice and easy riding around town or city. Yeah, slow speed. Oh, it's easy. It's easily balanced. Easy to hold it in a straight line, he says, just as he's coming to a stop. Yeah. See, it's got a good lightweight feel to it. And being a bit narrow and stuff, it should be good for filtering, like so. Admittedly, the gap between these cars is fairly decent anyway. I'll be quite comfortable doing that on the Scrambler. I'll be quite comfortable doing that on a GS 1200. Not that I've ever ridden one. So yeah, around town and stuff, it is a good bike for that, and it is very economical. And just going back to the seat height and short rider issue, because it is fairly lightweight, it's not really much of an issue reaching down and holding it on your tiptoe. Unlike, like I say, because my Scrambler is fairly top heavy, when you do that you can feel the weight of it. You are supporting the weight of it with your the ball of your foot, and after a while you do know about it. Whereas with this, because it's so light, it's perfectly comfortable. So yes, if you're a bit short in the leg like me, you should be okay with this. The Street Twin would be better, and really the Street Twin is, well, between this and the Street Twin there's not all that much difference between them really. So overall, if you're used to high-powered bikes and things like that, fast bikes, then this is probably not for you, because it will feel a bit gutless. But the truth be told, certainly for someone coming up with an A2 license, coming up from a 125 or, you know, a 300cc machine, this would be a good place to go to. It's got plenty of torque to accelerate your way nice and quickly from situations if needed. good amount of pull, pulling you up steep hills and things like that. It's perfectly fine, really. It's just, you know, it's not going to perform like a sports bike, of course. And it'll be interesting to see how this compares to the Street Cup, because that's the next thing on my list to ride once it's available. So yes, the T100 is a lovely bike, very smooth. It's a joy to ride, just even, you know, around town, even better out in the countryside, just, you know, taking in the views and stuff. It's certainly not a speed machine, but if you're going to be doing a bit of dual carriageway, motorway commuting, it should do the job fine, really. And of course, the classic looks of it, it really is. It's I wouldn't say it's, well, it is a modern classic, but it looks a lot more classic than it does modern. That's for sure. So yeah, if that's your cup of tea, then yeah, get down to your nearest Triumph shop and take a look at one. I'm just going to pull into this car park and do a bit of a turning circle test. Oh, of course, it's gravel, isn't it? It would be. We should be fine. Let's try it. Some turning. So this isn't the ideal situation. It's on a slope. It's gravel. Yeah, and all sorts of stuff, and it's a bit wet. But yeah, that's not bad. Yeah, that's pretty decent. Ideally, I should do turning circles in a car park where there's lines for car parking spaces, so you can really see how tight it can turn. But yeah, that is good. 70 miles an hour, slight uphill incline, 44.4 mpg, and increasing to 55 as we get over to the flat, up to 60, and now we're going downhill. We're doing a bit more than 70 actually, so I can go off throttle a bit. So yeah, it's about an average of around 60 miles per gallon at 70 miles an hour. And if you've got a good downhill bit, it goes up to nigh on 90. So yeah, it is quite economical. And we might as well park it next to the Scrambler. Hello. And there we go. So that is the new Bonneville T100. Thank you all for watching, and of course thanks to Destination Triumph here at Washington. Ride safe, I'll see you on the next one.